Long time no see, people. Back on YouTube. Okay, I got a question for you. I'm getting a little older when I play poker and stuff, and I've had trouble reading my phone without glasses. So for the videos, I take them off. I can still see, but I have to squint a little bit. And this is my notes for what I'm going to talk about today. So what do you think? Like, no glasses, glasses. I feel like no glasses is better. I've been thinking about the whole LASIK thing and all that stuff, but I'm a little afraid. Lady said, my eyesight will get worse in 3 to 5 years anyway, so maybe I'll wait on that. But I don't know, man. I feel way more sexy without them. Maybe I'll get some new frames or something. But what do we want to talk about? So a whole bunch of stuff. First and foremost, got a lot of things I want to cover. First, this week I played on PokerGo, Poker After Dark, and it was a fun crew as always, a really loud crew with Jamie Gold and Farrah Galfond and, of course, Randall Emmett, who, that's my dog's barking if you can hear him. Whatever. It is what it is. They're cute little bastards, and there's construction going off over, across the street. So I'm sitting here, right, playing with Randall Emmett, and if you watched Randall Emmett before, you've seen Randall Emmett is a boisterous, loud guy, right? So he's doing, hey, would you shut up? Come on, puppies. So he's a really boisterous, loud guy, but all of a sudden, after a couple hours of him doing his thing, he started to get real quiet. And I noticed like he's texting and he's like nonstop texting and not paying attention, and they're long texts. And then like you look at the text and it's like 50 Cent. I'm like, I don't know what the hell that means. It's none of my business, right? Randall left the game with a couple hours left to play. And I guess if you follow the Instagram story, oh my God, 50's upset with him. You can go to 50's Instagram, Randall Emmett's. I think Randall Emmett's is private, so you can't see nothing there.
And I let him hit it the first night and we were inseparable. The first night we banged, I got a car the next day. I'll be traveling on a private jet to Mykonos, which, guess what, honey? There's a lot of dick out there for me to suck to get on a PJ. I'm just letting you know. Like, no matter what, I can still live that way. Yeah. You just need to have a mouth, baby. It doesn't matter what you look like.
But pretty funny because I was like, I wonder why he left. And then it became this huge story. And I just happened to be sitting right next to him during that. But that's not really what I want to talk about today. Catch you up a little bit on what's been going on. Obviously, since the last time, video I posted, I'm officially getting married to at Radio Amanda Leatherman, which is a girl that, if I'm being completely honest, was pretty much my dream girl way back when, but there was a lot of issues that led to us not being able to be together at the time. First and foremost, she was very young. I was a little older. She was like 21. I was, 34 then or something? 21, I was 31? What? Well, when we met, right? About 10 years ago, I bought her an engagement ring. I never gave it to her. I didn't give it to her according to like a lot of people say. I asked her and she said no. That never happened. I bought the ring because I knew it was a good ring and I knew she'd like it, but my intention was to give it to her. Now, fast forward 10 years and, a few relationships in between, and I can't imagine my ex was too happy about knowing that there's a ring in the safe that was meant for someone else. But I never gave it to anybody. And I was asking people, like, is this something you can repackage and give to a different girl? And everyone's like, nope. The best you'd have to do is, like, melt it down or whatever, something like that. So yeah, it was 10 years later. We reconnected, both single, newly single. She was engaged once as well. And contrary to popular belief, like her last two boyfriends in between, she essentially, for the most part, was the breadwinner. She's a hard worker. She was in North Carolina kicking ass. She took a radio show. She's doing morning radio. She's perfect for that. And we're going to do some fun stuff in the future with her, and you're going to fall in love with her if you don't already know her. But she took a show that was like dead last in the ratings, a morning show. And within 6 months, it was like the #1 rated morning show because she's just natural. Remember her from Poker Road back in the day with, I guess Gavin Smith and Joe Seabach and Barry Greenstein, all them. She was really good on that, and she still got it. So we're going to do some fun stuff in the future along those lines. Outside of that, plans coming up after the wedding, which is May 17th. We got the World Series of Poker. And this year, I'm going to do things differently. For the last 10 years, probably, I've exclusively focused on the 10K mixed game events. And because I enjoy, first and foremost, I enjoy them. And I don't really like playing the big field, no limits, or I, haven't, because I never really comparatively, I have never really enjoyed doing that. But this year, I looked at the Player of the Year thing. And one of my goals was to win that for the third time before anyone else wins the second. And because I'm the only one with 2, and someone else is going to catch that soon, I'm sure. So the only way to do that now, the way that the point structure is you cannot win if you just play the high limit events. You have to play the smaller gimmicky events. So this year we are going to play an insanely full schedule. Good news is we will be vlogging just like we did the year before. They will be intense, and you guys will be engaged with the vlog in a new way also. And I'm going to get to that in a minute. Am I getting to that now? Let me check. See, I can't see shit. One last thing I wanted to touch on very briefly was, as you guys know, I'm from Toronto, so I was rooting for the Leafs, but bet on Boston. So I won $20,000 on that one. I'm in Vegas. I bet on Vegas too. And as you saw, and I know listen, all the haters, I'm going to block every one of you if you do this. But so I realized, they were up 3-1. Could have won Game 5. San Jose played great. They deserved that win. Game 6, we gave it everything we could. We lost in double overtime, and it was a close one. I thought we outplayed them. And then in Game 7, looked like with 10 minutes to go, we had the game won, 3-0 up. We allow 4 power play goals, which is not good. But when you think about why, partly was we kicked out Cody Eakin from the game, who is one of our best penalty killers. Belmar was injured, so he didn't play. We just played a double overtime game. And these are all excuses, but they're legitimate. They're true. And you add that to the fact that San Jose has a dynamic power play. They're really good. So give them 5 minutes to get back into the game where they're pretty much dead. That did Vegas in. Even though Marchessault was able to score that goal within a minute left. Now, obviously, and I don't want to cry too much because you guys are all going to put the gifs of Michael Jordan with the tears, and I don't want to see them. But let's just put it this way. Like, the league has apologized. The refs were no longer able to ref in round 2 because it's clear that was a mistake. The referees didn't see it. If you watch it, nobody raised their hand and was like, there's a penalty. The crowd booed because they see Pavelski hurt. I get it. You're upset. They see Thornton coming into their ear like, you got to give him 5. Da, da, da. So I think the refs just made an emotional decision without thinking. And because obviously what Cody Eakin did happens 15, 20, 50 times a game. It's just a little, after the face-off, you try to get position. It's nothing big. As it turned out, there's a slip and a fall. Vegas is gone, and now San Jose has a really good road to the finals, which is going to suck because, if they win the cup, it's going to feel like even worse, you know what I mean? Not that I'm anti-rooting or whatever, but I kind of have to. All right, glasses again. Old man glasses. Let's talk about Hot Topic, okay? Hot Topic, every freaking year this comes up, and come up again this year with fellow YouTuber Johnny Vibes. If you don't follow Johnny Vibes, you should follow his channel. He does vlogs. He was nominated in that category, or wasn't he? I don't know. He was supposed to be. He was nominated. He was nominated for Personality of the Year or something like that. He should have been in the vlogger category, but he wasn't. So he's new to tournaments, right? He's a good player. He's played the main event 6 times. He's cashed 3 times. He's a cash game grinder, and he put together a package for his fans. 1.38 or something, and the whole poker world, specifically Sean Deeb, went after him, just calling him a scammer, a cheat, taking advantage of people and all this kind of stuff. And every time this happens, it really rubs me the wrong way because first and foremost, right, this is simply a free market, okay? And I want to explain how markup works. For a lot of you that don't understand what markup is, you're like, what is markup? Okay, let's say, for example, I want to sell you 10% of my action in a $10,000 bind event, okay? So that would be $1,000, right? But because, I'm a good player, right, I'm going to charge you more than $1,000 because you have to figure my return of investment, my ROI, is higher than even. So what we would do is maybe I would say instead of $1,000, you give me $1,300 and you'll have 10%. So you're paying $300 extra for that 10%, and And so that's how essentially markup works, right? So now what happens is people put out packages for not just one event, but for 15, 20, 30 events. And they say, listen, this is my package. I'm charging 1.2, 1.3. Now, people have a choice to say, I don't like that price. I don't think it's fair. I will not buy. Or people have if they think it's a good investment and they think it's worthwhile, then they can say, okay, I will go ahead and buy. I don't understand how, as a professional poker player, part of your goal, any business's goal, is essentially to maximize profit, right? So, for example, if you sold hot dogs, okay, and you were selling your hot dogs for $5, but your market research showed that if you sold for $8, you wouldn't lose a single customer. Imagine that's true, okay? Extreme example, because, maybe that's not true, but let's just say, for example, you would make just as much money, you would just sell just as many hot dogs at $8. You would be, as a business, foolish for leaving that equity on the floor. Why are you selling for $5 when you can sell them for $8? You might think they're only worth $5, right? But if people are willing to pay $8, they are now worth $8 because that's what people are willing to pay. Now, obviously, the other end of that argument is people getting taken advantage of. And I don't believe in this nanny sissy pansification state where we have to protect people from their own investments, right? If somebody wants to invest money that means something to them, they should do their due diligence. Before you buy Phil Hellmuth at 1.8, for example, when he was selling. And listen, I don't think Phil Hellmuth is a scammer at all. I think Phil has a really high opinion of his play, and that's what he thought he was worth. And if people were willing to pay it, great. Last year, as it turned out, he won them like $80,000, but that's completely irrelevant and besides the point because we know results don't matter. The key thing about markup is it's always a debate and it's always arguable. What is the right price? What should my markup be if I played the 1,500 no limit for like first one? What should I charge? What is the accurate price? We have no idea. Past results don't dictate it. You'd have to know the field. It's impossible, literally impossible to know the right price. So essentially that leaves us in a place where we are always guessing, right? As to what is valuable. To one person, they see value. To others, they don't. And in other cases, some people just want to sweat. They don't mind overpaying a little bit because they just want a piece of Phil Hellmuth. They want a piece of Johnny Vibes. They want to pay back something to Johnny because of all the free YouTube content that he provides and whatever reasoning, right? Point is, you post a package, people want to pay it. It's nobody else's fucking business. I just said, fuck, I'm allowed to. It's YouTube. Cool. Yes. I feel free. Woo, because I'm free. Free falling. All right, I got other things on this topic. Let me see here. What else we got? So ultimately, what really upsets me is bullies, okay? I've been bullied online for 15, 20 years, as long as I've been on the internet, right? And I get a big reason why I get bullied is because I'm outspoken. I got a big mouth. I get involved in the trenches or whatever. But sometimes, there's just like out and out mob mentality bullying. And in this case, when it comes to people selling packages, them being bullied by Sean Deeb and others into being like framed as bad people or thieves or taking advantage or scammy or everything is like completely uncalled for. It's disgusting behavior, frankly. It's not designed to really help the community. Like, who are you helping? You're literally just doing this to shame people, embarrass people, and hurt people. And I don't like this. I don't like that. I've always hated bullies. My approach for the most part, when people bully me, I can handle it. Like, it doesn't bother me. But when other people get bullied, like if you bring my, fiance Amanda into it, or you bring like people that I know, and I see people that, I wish the poker community as a whole would stand up to bullies more as a community. Like, I get why people are afraid because bullies can be intimidating. They come at you in all these different ways and you feel like, I don't want to get involved. I'll just mum's the word. But as a community, we should stand up against this kind of stuff because, all night bullying, not just in poker, but just in general, is like a serious thing. Monica Lewinsky, of all people, she's like the OG of bullying, right? Imagine if she was online during those days. Wow. Just for the blowjob with the Bill Clinton thing. So she's been on a speaking tour. There's a TED Talks. I think you can find Monica Lewinsky TED Talks, where she talks about it and, the damage it did to her. And like for me, I'm a strong dude mentally. Like I can take it. But a lot of people, it's scary. Like I specifically know, and I won't name them, people that want to sell a package. One person in particular wants to sell at 1.2. This person I know is worth more than 1.2. But they are nervous about putting the package out because they're afraid of being bullied by assholes. So you're not doing the tournaments any favor. Like, we want more people to be able to get in these tournaments, and it's expensive to play the whole World Series of Poker. My God, you'll see, when I show you my buy-ins each year, it's insane. Like, especially if you play them all. So for a lot of these people, they don't have the bankroll to do that, and they want to make give some people a chance to buy a sweat, and if they want to, great. Free market. When did that become such like a nasty concept? It's really puzzling to me. All right, so speaking of the World Series and packages and all those things. All right, here's where we get to the fun stuff, okay? I would like to offer you a package as well, okay? And it is not the package that you saw on Instagram, okay? That was just a post about me, sort of, it was a preview of the package that you could potentially be getting a piece of this year. So I'm going to do, for the first time ever, I've never done this before, but I want to engage, the people who watch the vlog so you have a rooting interest throughout. So what I've done is I've created 3 separate packages, okay? And I'm going to read it because I'm blind. The low roller package, okay? This is what I'm doing. The low roller package is going to consist of all buy-ins $1,500 and under, okay? So what we're going to do is you're going to buy a percentage, and the maximum you can spend is $100. I don't want to give all this equity just a bunch of Sharpies. I want to give this to like just the people who want to be a part of the game and have a sweat. So the most you can buy is $100 worth of the action. The whole package, and I will get you the costs and all that stuff soon. But what we're going to do is we're going to assume that I'm going to take every reentry possible, right? And we're going to also assume that I'm playing every one. Obviously, if I don't play an event, you'll get a full refund on that, and you're not going to, that won't go on the number of the package, right? So potentially I play them all, but obviously I'm going to do well in some of them, so that's not a thing. So that's the low roller package, and I'm going to sell up to 10% of my action, okay? So 10% of my action in the 1,500 and smallers, which could be a pretty penny because, it could be really good boom because the ROI is really good in those small ones because you put up small amounts, but the prize pools are huge because you get 2,000-3,000 people in some of these tournaments, right? So for the big 50, which I'll be playing this year for the first time, $500 buy-in, what is it going to pay $1 million? It's pretty good freaking ROI, a lot better than what you'd find in these super high roller events with 40 to 50 people. So that's the low stakes, low roller package. Then we move on to the mid stakes package. The mid stakes package for this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give up 25% of my action for this one. And what qualifies as a mid stakes? That's going to be buy-ins just above 1,500 up to 10K. So the 10Ks count and everything in between, that will be part of the mid stakes package. And because it's a little bit bigger, your max buy is $500. Okay, so you can put up $500 on that package. And I'm also going to allow people to buy. If you bought the piece of the low, you can also buy a piece of the middle, but you can't do more than 500 or 100 on those two. So that's going to be the mid stakes. Then we're going to do the high roller package. In the high roller package, you're going to get a big chunk. You're going to get a big opportunity. I'm going to give up 50% of my high roller package. And the high rollers consist of every tournament with a buy-in above $10,000. Okay. As I said, max reentries whenever possible is what we're going to calculate. So in the big 50, there's a reentry in every one. That could run $3,000 for a $500 tournament. I'm going to play my A game. And part of the reason I wanted to do this is because I knew I was going to play these small events. And mentally, it's always kind of been hard to just care about having 8 big blinds and feel like I got to grind it, But knowing that I'll have your money on the line makes me feel more, I've always played better that way. Because now I'm going to bring my A+ game. And I'm not going to make any dumb decisions or just be like, it's only $500. Let's torch this. I'm going to take it very, very seriously. The other thing that's going to be important to explain, and you'll see this as the vlog goes on, but because I'm going to be playing so many tournaments, late registration is going to be a thing on occasion. Well, a lot, probably almost every day. If I'm playing the first event and the second event, I may max late reg in some cases where for a 10K, for example, I may skip all of day one because I'm in another event and buy in for day two. So as long as there's late reg, I will be doing that. And that will all factor in to the markup that I'm going to be charging you. Okay. That's an important point, right? Because you don't want to get screwed because your markup, my markup should be higher if I'm starting on time than it should be later, right? So that's going to have a big effect on the ultimate markup, which I'll share with you what it is at the very end of the video. All right. Now, one other piece of information that's important because I'm going to be playing a lot more events. I have not done this in 5 to 10 years, but if a stack is dropped while I'm in an event, so let's say I'm still in a 1,500, right? But I'm short. And I say, you know what? Late reg is over. Just put a 10K stack down for me and I'll ante off, right? If I were to do that, and I don't know that I have, like I said, I haven't, just in case, if I were to do that, you will not have a piece of a stack that's anteing off, okay? Having said that, if I bust the tournament that I'm in, and all of a sudden I jump into this anteed off stack and I do well in that, unfortunately, and I think this is only fair, you don't have a piece of that one, right? So, because, I think that's fair. And if it's not, you tell me in the YouTube comments down below. So now, for the big important reveal, what am I going to charge for these packages? Okay, so all 3 of these packages have different values, obviously, right? My value in the low roller is going to be much, much higher. So the markup I should be charging there is probably in the neighborhood of 2.5 to 3 times the buy-in. That's probably approximately what I should be charging. The mid-stakes buy-ins, those are a little tougher. You have a little stronger competition, smaller fields and stuff like that. So in that one, I would say it's probably in the neighborhood of 1.25 to 1.3. Notice a big jump, right? The two things. Now, in the high roller package, that one is interesting, right? Because some of them are tough. The 50K, I think I'm, at least 1.15 in, 1.2 in that neighborhood. But there's also big no limits and things like that. So it's probably, if I was being fair, I would say it's about right around 1.15. Okay. If you think that's way out of line, please say so. So ultimately, what does that get me to in terms of a grand total? So we've got about 2.5 to 3 to 1 for the low roller. We got 1.3 for the mid stakes package, 1.15 for the high roller. So here's what I'm going to charge you people for the entire journey. We're going to charge you fuck all. Okay. We're going to do no markup. Okay. I'm going to do this because I think it's fun. It's going to motivate me because I've always anytime anyone's ever had a piece of me that was significant, it always makes me try harder. And I really have high goals to win the Player of the Year this year. And I know in order to do that, you can't just play the mixed game events now. You got to play those small, big field events because there's so many points available in the way that the system works. So I hope you appreciate this essential giveaway, right? Because every year during the World Series vlogs, I do some kind of giveaway, whether it's staking people in the main event or, just donating to people's charity or, packages to tournaments, things like that. So we're going to do this. It's going to be fun. Now, the logistics of how this is all going to happen, still working on that. It's complicated, right? I'm thinking, that's what I'm thinking, probably, and I didn't add this, but we will. For the low roller, which has a $100 max, I want to make it a $5 minimum, right? So $5. You can buy into that for $5 minimum. That's what I'd like to see happen. So that way, every one of you has a chance to get a good investment. And I promise you, this is me, and you ask anyone in the poker community, and my resume, I don't have my ROI, but I have my results over the years. This is a very good investment for you guys, and I can say that wholeheartedly because I'm investing my own money in the same darn thing. The mid-stakes package, maximum buy-in $500. I don't know. We're going to look at that, but I'm thinking maybe for that one, you want to up it a little bit to like $100 minimum, something like that. And then for the high roller, which is a $5,000 maximum, probably $500. You don't want to deal with a lot of like nickel and dimes. I don't know. Maybe we'll just go $5 across the board. That's going to depend on the logistics. And whatnot. But that's all I got for you guys today. But if you are a podcast listener, okay, you definitely want to check out DAT Poker Podcast. It's DAT Poker Podcast. You can subscribe to it on iTunes or wherever else. And we do it weekly. It's myself. It's the old 2+2 podcast with Adam and Terrence and Ross. And they added me as a host, essentially. So we shoot the shit. We talk about all kinds of things poker related and whatnot. And you can download it, listen to it while you're at the gym. Hopefully you're at the gym. I've been at the gym a little bit. Hey, staying sexy. Got to, right? Got to keep Amanda happy. She likes it. I believe in this. I don't know. I'm a guy. Like, everyone, I know these guys, like, they're way overweight or whatever, and they're like, I'm like, what are you looking for in a woman? It's like, I want a woman who's in shape, takes good care of herself, goes to the gym every day. I'm like, okay. And what do you think, what kind of man do you think she'd want? Just curious. You know what I'm saying? She may have some interest in you doing the same. So I think it's important. I have always believed, it's important to take care of your mind, your body, your soul, and super excited about the next couple months. We got, as I said, the wedding coming up, the World Series of Poker grind, which is always my favorite time of year, and vlogs for you on the daily. With that, y'all, peace out.